Okay, today we will be testing how good the mic is on this helmet. I've got both the mouth ports open. We'll see how it goes with the wind noise. Oh, the speakers are actually very, very nice. When I listen to the speakers indoors, it's got actually quite a surprising amount of bass for speakers that are inside the helmet. I was expecting them to be a little bit more tinny and a bit of a thin EQ, but it's actually got a decent range. Now, I have tested the helmet once already, but without talking, because I wanted to see how much ambient noise it would pick up, things like the sound of the bike, other cars, and it's not super loud, but it does its job. You can still hear the exhaust and things like that. But I am a bit curious to see the balance between those sounds when you do talk. My guess is my voice is going to be a bit louder than all the other noises, but that's okay. We do want to hear the voice a little bit more in most cases. I still do have a bit of space in between my ears and the speakers, however, so I'll be looking into putting in the included spaces behind the speakers, so you can close that gap a little bit, and hopefully the sound will improve. But not only that, hopefully the sound insulation, so reducing the wind noise and things like that, might end up being a bit better as well. I'm not saying that it's bad at the moment, it's pretty decent, but it could improve depending on where the speakers are positioned. The speakers have a little cutout, a little hole that they sit in, and it's actually quite deep. I'm guessing it's quite deep, so it can accommodate lots of different size heads, things like that. And then the people who do want the speakers closer, you get, I believe, a 3mm spacing pad and a 5mm spacing pad. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, I think the 5mm might be a bit too much, but I'll give the 3mm ones a go and see how it improves. The speakers will definitely be better the closer they are to your ear. So yeah, I'm a bit excited for that. So what I used to do for music previously is I used to use my normal, well, I don't know if I can say normal, but just a standard, I don't know what you would call it. It's like a half open face helmet, not a full face. The whole front part was open without a chin bar and things like that. Surprisingly light and aerodynamic, actually. It didn't drag wind or anything. It was actually quite comfortable and very, very easy to put on. but no speakers, and I didn't bother putting aftermarket speakers in or anything. So what I would do is wear some earphones. I'd wear my Apple AirPods, AirPods Pro, but it was really not comfortable, and they would move out of position, and the audio was really not great. The AirPods themselves will sort of start crackling and go whack from the wind noise. I think it's, even if I put the noise cancellation on, it would always do this weird crackling thing. So I couldn't really use it, and I stopped using it quite quickly. But now finally having some decent speakers in the helmet is really, really nice. I can enjoy some music on my commute to work. Come on, taxi. Having the front mouth vents open definitely bring in a lot of air, well, much more air, I should say. So I'm not exactly sure how much that would affect the quality of the audio. I'm hoping it's okay. Yesterday I tried the helmet with the mouth vents closed, and it's okay, but it's definitely nicer having the vents open and getting, you know, a bit more air come in, especially for the visor as well. I'm still waiting on my extra visor, the iridium visor. So at the moment I've got this clear visor on without fin lock, so if I stop and, you know, breathe, it'll fog up. So hopefully that visor comes in soon, so I don't have to, you know, have these vents open all the way, all the time. But, you know, it's okay. One thing I did notice from checking out a bit of footage that I took yesterday is, yeah, the helmet is lacking in image stabilization. If the camera had a stabilizing feature, this helmet camera setup will be perfect. At the moment, you know, every little bump, every little head movement is getting transferred into the video, and it's not the most pleasant viewing experience, I would say. I mean, this is going to differ, you know, opinions are going to differ depending on people, but for me, looking at, you know, a 20-minute long video of my travel, all the shakes and bumps, I'm not sure if some people will be able to watch the whole thing. They might get a bit motion sick from the ups and downs. So if Forcite can release any firmware, updates to get a bit of stabilization into the camera, it would make a whole world of difference for sure. I'm not saying the current footage is unusable, it's definitely usable, but to be able to match other setups like a GoPro or other action cameras on the helmet, there'll need to be just a bit more stabilization to win a few more people over, I would say. But I'm quite satisfied and happy with how the footage turned out. It's just a very, very minor thing that if I was going to fix anything, that's what it would be. Everything else I'm very happy with, I would say. I guess the other handy feature is just having a camera on board, even having sound as well. It's good for safety, I would guess. If you have an accident or anything, motorbikes are always at a disadvantage. Not everyone has, one of those GoPro camera setups. So having a bit of evidence of what happened, that's actually, really, really reassuring. These days, it's sort of a must to have a dash cam in your car. You don't know what, some of these crazy drivers these days are going to do. And having that hard evidence can really save your ass. I've had an incident before where a pedestrian jumped out of nowhere behind a blind spot, and all I had to do was just hand in the footage off my dash cam and everything was fine. So being able to do something similar to that but on a bike is really, really handy. I myself have the auto record feature on, so whenever I turn on the helmet would automatically start recording. So I won't forget to press record or anything, and mainly because I still haven't set up my hand controller. I don't know what they call it, the remote that goes on the handlebars. I haven't set that up yet. I'll get around to that soon so I can test it out, but I can still play music from my phone. I just keep my phone in my pocket, have it running on a playlist, and then the helmet auto records straight away when I turn it on. So it's definitely usable even without the controller. I guess if I do really need to change the volume, I could just squeeze my thigh where my phone is and click the volume buttons from there if I really need to. I guess the only other thing I can't do is use some of the phone features. So taking calls, it's a bit impossible right now without any buttons to do that, but it's okay, they could wait. Yeah, that was the test for today of Forcite MK1S helmet for the mic sound.